defects. During casting process, several undesired irregularities creep into the final casting product. These irregularities are known as casting defects. Thus, casting defect is any undesired irregularity in the metal casting product. Casting defects are broadly classified into gas defects, molding material defects, pouring metal defects, and metallurgical defects. Now let's discuss each of these defects one by one. Gas defects. These defects occur due to the improper gas passing tendency of the mold. They are further classified into air inclusions, open blows, and blowholes. Air inclusion is air trapped in the final casting product caused by improper ventilation during casting process. They are controlled by choosing appropriate pouring temperature and improving gating practice by reducing turbulence. Open blows and blowholes are the spherical or elongated cavities formed on the surface or inside the casting due to the moisture present in the mold and core or lower ventilation and permeability of the mold. Proper ventilation is the remedy of eliminating open blows and blowholes. The cavities formed on the surface of the casting are called open blows, while those formed inside the casting are called blowholes. Molding material defects. These are the defects caused by the characteristics of molding materials. They are further classified into runout, fusion, cuts, and washes. Runout is the leaking of molten metal out of the mold due to the faulty making of mold or faulty molding flask. Fusion is the brittle and glassy appearance on the casting product due to fusion of sand grains with the molten metal, caused by lower refractoriness of molding sand or very high temperature of the molten metal. This defect can be removed by selecting an appropriate type and amount of clay such as bentonite. Cuts and washes are the rough spot and area formed by excess metal present in the casting, caused due to the erosion of molding sand by flowing molten metal. This happens due to weak strength of molding sand or high speed of flowing molten metal. The former cause can be remedied by selecting proper molding sand and using appropriate molding method, whereas the latter cause can be remedied by increasing size of gates or using multiple in-gates. Pouring metal defects. These are the defects caused by the properties of the molten metal being poured. These are further classified into slag inclusions, misruns. When flux is added in the molten metal to avoid impurities and oxide formation in the hot molten metal, some of the slag formed by the flux enters the casting. This presence of slag in the casting product along with the molten metal is known as slag inclusion. Adoption of some of the slag trapping methods like pouring basin screens and runner extensions eliminates the possibility of slag inclusions. Misruns are caused due to the low fluidity of the molten metal and less thickness of the casting section. Misruns are formed when molten metal does not fill the mold cavity completely, thus leaving unfilled cavities. Misruns are eliminated by selecting proper casting design and by increasing fluidity of molten metal. Metallurgical defects. These are the defects caused by the properties of the casting product. These are further classified into hot tears and hot spots. Hot tears are unwanted cooling stresses developed in the casting product due to the poor casting design, which may cause the product to rupture. Hot spot is the formation of very hard white cast iron on the surface of casting made up of grey cast iron and small amounts of silicon due to chilling of the casting, that is, when the casting is cooled suddenly. The hot spots can be eliminated by adopting proper metallurgical control and chilling practices. Related term is